Okay. Okay. So, first thing I want you to do is I'm going to have you open up your case. And then just leave everything in there. So, I'm going to go over some of the parts of the instruments. This here is called the neck. So this is what attaches to your mouthpiece, which your mouthpiece is going to look like this. Yours might be a little bit different, but generally this is what your mouthpiece is going to be, and it'll attach right on to there. And then the other piece, which is just going to be one big piece, is going to be the body of the saxophone. And you could consider this the bell, is what it's usually called, but it's not a separate piece, it's just all one big piece. So, let's see, okay. I'm going to have you take your reed, and you're just going to take it out of the package. And what I want you to do while I go through some of this other stuff, I'm going to have you suck on the reed. So you need to suck on the reed to get any sort of sound. If you have a dry reed, you're not going to get anything out of it. And uncommon, I don't think a ton of people do this, but sucking on both ends works really well. I think it gives you a better sound quality. But both ends, so you have the bark, which is what this is called, and this is where the actual reed. This is the sound you actually blow through, but a lot of people will also suck on this end just to get the whole thing wet. It just gives it, I think, a better sound quality. So you can just suck on that while I go through everything else. So, your mouthpiece. I'm going to have you take out your mouthpiece. Okay, so when you actually put your instrument together, this is the last thing you'll put on it. It's the last thing you'll put it together. But I'm just going to show you basic way. By the way, this is called your ligature. This is what keeps your reed attached to it. So, when you're putting it on, you want to make sure that the flat side of your mouthpiece is against the flat side of your reed. Like I said, the bark needs to be facing outwards when you're putting it together. When you put it on, you want the reed to be just below the edge of the mouthpiece, so just a sliver of the black is showing. So, what you'll do, just put the ligature over the mouthpiece, line it up. You want to make sure your ligature isn't too high up, so make sure it's below the line where the bark and the actual reed meet. If it's too high up, it kind of gives you a poor sound quality. And you're going to tighten it on there. You don't want them to be too tight. That can kind of cut off the vibration, and you're just going to get poor sound quality. But you want it tight enough to where the mouthpiece or the reed isn't going to move on there. Generally, your bottom screw for the ligature is going to be tighter than the top one. So what I'll have you do is I will have you do the same thing. And then good way is just holding it up to see, make sure you have a sliver of that black showing. Okay, can I see?
It's crooked.
Yep, and that'll be something you can adjust once you get the mouthpiece on, or the ligature, because then it'll hold better to it. And as you're tightening, just make sure you're adjusting if it starts to go to the side or starts to go too far up.
It's just too high right now.
Yep, and you can lower it as you go. Make sure you never adjust from here. If you're pushing down on that, that can cause your reed to break. They crack and break very easily, so you want to make sure you're delicate with it. I notice mine's a little high too, so I'm going to lower it a little bit.
Oh, it's high.
Yep, sometimes it's good to look from the other side too, because then you can see if it's going over at all. Okay, and then when you're done, show me and I can take a look and see.
It's so much harder than I thought.
Yep, and if it's a little, it doesn't have to be perfect. That's something that'll just come with time. So, yep, that's perfect. So just make sure that it doesn't move when you touch it, and then we'll go on to the embouchure. Yep.
Oh, now I know why it takes clarinets forever.
Okay.
I think that's good.
Yep, you should be good. Okay, so the embouchure. The biggest thing you need to remember